Yes. Jesus, you're the center of my joy. All that's good and perfect comes from you. You're the heart of my contentment, hope for all I do. Jesus, you're the center of my joy. When I lose my direction, you're the compass for my way. You're the fire and the light when the nights are long and cold. In sadness, you are the laughter that shatters all my fears. When I'm all alone, your hand is there to hold. Jesus, you're the center of my joy. do a medley, and they're all familiar songs, so if you can, join in with us. I'm gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside. Study war no more. I'm gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside. Study war no more. I don't feel no waste time. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe he brought me this far. I don't believe he brought me this far. I don't believe that he brought me this far. I don't believe he picked me up just to drop me off. He brought me this far. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. Time is filled with swift transition. Naught on earth unmoved can stand. Build our hopes on things eternal. Hold on to God's unchanging hand. Everybody ought to hold to his hand. God's unchanging hand. You better hold to his hand. God's unchanging hand. Build your hopes on things eternal. You ought to hold on to God's unchanging hand. I say this joy that I have, this whole world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy I have, the Lord didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy I have, didn't give it to me. The Lord didn't give it. The world can't take it away. I said this old Holy Ghost that I have, this whole world didn't give it to me. The Holy Ghost that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The Holy Ghost that I have, the Lord didn't give it to me. The Lord didn't. The world can't take it away. All because He's so real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus knows just what goes on. He's so real, real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus knows just what goes over. Jesus knows just when the doctor shakes his head and says, "No, Jesus knows just what goes over." Jesus knows just what goes over in my soul. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you. If it had not been for the Lord. Thank you. Come on, let's give this little motivational singing group a big round of applause. How about that? You know, that sounds real pitiful. Let's give the Lord a big hand then. Amen. Amen. Thank you to our praise team this morning. Thank you for being here, all of you. Now, I know that our time is growing kind of short for our little express service this morning, but I'm glad to see all of your faces out this morning. Our speaker is here, and she is a motivational speaker, young lady from the Atlanta area, and a best-selling author. I'm certain that the Lord has sent something by her this morning to make your hearts glad, and I pray that you'll receive her in the spirit that she was brought to us. She was recommended very highly, and I'm praying that the Lord will use her this morning to his glory. Come on, put your hands together for Miss Jennifer Speed. Show us some love. Amen. Come on up, Miss Jennifer.
Good morning. Let me first address the very bright white elephant in the room. I had an accident this morning. My son is sick, and I had medicine in a medicine cup in my cup holder. And so, hence, I've got medicine all over me. So there's the big white elephant. So, and then here's my question. Has anybody here ever been in love? I'm talking about not that ooey gooey, oh my goodness, he loves me so much. I mean, like, I cannot wait to see this man's face, or I cannot wait to see this woman's face. I mean, I can't wait to breathe the air that this man breathes. I'm talking about that kind of love. Has anybody ever been in that kind of love? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So my husband, the day I met him, I didn't even like him like that. But when he stole my heart, I was in. And my wedding day, it was so beautiful and perfect. It was on a spring day in May in Florida, and we got married on a golf course with beautiful green hills and beautiful lakes, and the weather was so perfect, you could hardly feel the air on your skin. And it was so beautiful. And the day my father walked me down the aisle and I joined hands with my husband, we just stared into each other's eyes and we laughed with each other. And we were so excited to be getting married. I mean, my mother-in-law, she even thought I was drunk. I wasn't drunk. I was so giddy that I was marrying the man of my dreams. And like the rings that we shared, that we exchanged, we vowed that our love would be never ending. And that giddiness, it never went away. I mean, I would wake up in the morning and I would just lay there and just look at him. And he had these freckles that I just loved to stare at. And I would stare at those freckles, and then he'd wake up and he'd move his head to my pillow and we would wave. Hi. I mean, you know what they say, first comes love, then comes marriage, and then comes babies in the baby carriage. And so we had our first baby 2 years in, our baby girl. And then 4 years later, we had our baby boy. And everything was so perfect. I mean, we used to work out together. We did everything. And this one day I was working out. I was getting those crunches in, just getting in shape. And at the end, I was just laid out, just taking a breath. And he said, I think I want to have relations with other women. Hold up, what? Wait a minute. But we're good. Where's this coming from? We're good. I don't even know what to say to that. And I didn't. But the next day, we talked and we decided to go to counseling. And for 5 years, we went to counseling 5 different times. And at the 5th year, we sat in counseling. He said, I can no longer be monogamous. He said, it's not you. You are perfect for me. Our marriage, it's perfect. I just need to be free. But I wouldn't change anything about us. I just need to be able to have relations with other women. I just need to be free. And I couldn't do that, so we had to get divorced. Has anybody ever felt like their heart was just torn from their chest and they were suddenly left all alone? That's where I was. And I had all of these questions like, can I take care of my children all by myself? Can I pay for these bills all by myself? Will I find someone that loves me, that I love back? I mean, was I gonna die by myself? Was he right? Was monogamy just not normal? I didn't know the answers to any of these questions, so I continued life. I continued to take care of my children. I continued to make breakfast on the weekends. And I went to work with a smile on my face, and I did it so well, nobody knew the hell that I was going through. But I continued to remain prayerful. And the only place that I ever felt like myself was in the shower, because there, the warm water would beat down on me, and I could just be whatever. And I would be happy and hopeful. I just knew this thing was gonna work out. I would be angry. I would be so angry, and I would be sad. And this one day, I went through all of those emotions, and I fell to my knees. And I just started to call out, Jesus, help me. Help my husband. Can't you see he needs you? Will I make it? Father, just help me. Help us. Will I make it? And I just started to sob. And I just sat there in that shower, and I started to sob. And then I started to breathe. I didn't know what was happening to me. And my heart started to race. And I couldn't breathe, and I felt like I was going crazy. I felt like I had to run, and I didn't know what was going on. I just didn't know what was happening. I thrust the shower door open, and the air started to rush in, and I started to be able to breathe again. And that feeling kept happening day after day after day. And so I had to go to the doctor to say, what's wrong with me? And I was diagnosed with having anxiety attacks. And then I was put on medication for that. I ain't never been on medication for anxiety. So let me see, sleepless nights, anxiety, and medication. That's what my life is. Sleepless nights, anxiety, and medication. Hold up, God. Sleepless nights, anxiety, and anxiety. And man, like this is crazy. This is what you have for my life? But I still didn't know what to do. So I continued to go to work and do what I do. And I would drive into work crying, and I would drive home crying. But at work, I kept it together until this one day, I could hardly get to the car without running. And no sooner than I sat in that seat and put my hands on the steering wheel, my eyes started to open up, the floodgates open. And I said, am I being punished, God? What did I do that was so terrible that I'm being punished? And so I started to think about things throughout my life and throughout my marriage, and I thought about my third child. Her name is Love. See, she was born too soon. At 20 weeks, I started to go into labor. And I was in the hospital for 4 days trying to save her life. And all day and all throughout the sleepless nights, I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And my mother-in-law, she walked the perimeter of the hospital in prayer. And my prayer warrior friends, they prayed. And I just knew that she was coming. But on the 4th day, she was delivered too soon at 21 weeks. She lived for a little over an hour, and she was gone. And I was left with a hole in my heart and extreme sadness. But I remained prayerful. About a month later, I was in the shower, because that's where I do my best thinking, and I was listening to a gospel song. And I forget who it was, but the words were about God's promises and miracles. And I was singing the song along with the singer. And I realized God doesn't deliver miracles. He doesn't deliver promises. He took my baby girl. God's not real. I'm done. I don't believe in it. He didn't deliver my miracle. And I told my husband at the time, God's not real. I don't believe in that. And about a month later, I stuck to that story. God's not real. I don't believe in that. And he said, Jennifer, but what makes you different? Like all these other people experience tragedy. Why is it when you experience tragedy, God's not real? And so I had to sit with that thought. And I said, you know what? I started a foundation called Love's Foundation. And the foundation helps assist other families that lose infants prematurely. And so I realized I'm being a blessing to these other families. I mean, all day long, I would want my daughter with me, but I'm being a blessing to these other families. And so as I sat in that car, I said, you know what? I could do this. Yeah, I could take care of my children all by myself. And absolutely, I could pay for these bills all by myself, whatever it takes. And will I find someone to love me? Of course I will. Am I going to die by myself? I'm not going to die by myself. And was monogamy normal? It's what I required. And so, you see, I could have crumbled and I could have been bitter because of all that sadness and all that all that stuff that I went through. Like I could have been bitter on that. But I realized that if I just stay prayerful, God will change all of my tragedies and use them all for good. And so some people say that people make things happen. I say that prayer, faith, and work towards the thing, that's what makes things happen. So I stand in front of you today as a best-selling author of the book Happily Ever After Divorce. And I'm a motivational speaker and a life coach for women just like myself that just needed a little bit of something to help them get to the other side and experience happiness and see that they can make it. You see, God doesn't give us what we can handle. He helps us handle what we've been given. Thank you. My name is Jennifer Speed. Thank you, Jennifer. That was really good.
Happily ever after divorce. All marriages were not made in heaven. Sometimes we get lust and love confused, and we don't pray about our mates, and we make our own choices, and God allow you to live with your choice. So I really appreciate you coming down and sharing that with us this morning, Miss Jennifer. It's a wonderful message. Amen. Amen, amen, amen.